What does a snare do? I've been DJing and producing for 23 years, and I still found myself Googling, what does a snare do? And if you see on YouTube what Skrillex says is there's a 200 hertz bump, which made me think back to the key of G. G has relevance to me. There's a few reasons. For one, it's a harmonic of 200 hertz. Or if you look at the muted I/O chart, it's actually 196 hertz. That's where your snare is going to be hitting on the 909. Then you got the 49 hertz for the fundamental of the chord, or the root of the chord, 49 hertz. So there's other reasons that G really strikes a chord with me. Back in this documentary about electronic music, there was this dude that like looked at the camera and he's like, the only note that I know is G, like talking about techno. It's like G's the only thing that matters. And I don't know, I've got this boom box that like G, or actually F sharp is like the lowest note that my boombox plays, even though it advertises that it has a bass boost. It can't play those low D's, E's, F's. It can do F sharp. That's about it. Uh, yeah. So I did this little question on Reddit about why is my snare louder than my kick drum in the mix and the master? When the snare hits, um, there's a lot of gain reduction on my master compressor and limiter. So let's do the experiment that I did. We'll do it again. And you'll hear something that snares do that you might not really realize. So I have in my favorites this utility saturator. The saturator is set to digital clip and hard clip with just a utility feeding into it. It's just something I do for perceived loudness, actual loudness. It's just a good preset that I made, just a utility into a saturator. And I got tired of setting my saturator to digital clip and hard clip because I do it on like every track. So we'll go to the 909, put that on there, boost it up a little bit. We're also going to do an EQ8 because that's going to be the main thing that we're working with here. So you actually don't need to use the tuner. I mean, what you could do is use a tuner. So it's hitting F sharp, and then if you wanted it to be tuned to your track, bring it down a little bit. Now it's an F. But we want the G. So the tuner is kind of weird because it's a guitar tuner, right? So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to set the tuner, double click it to just bring it back to 99 on the tune there on the bass drum, and just use the EQ8. So the snare, you can see right around here, it's almost at that 200, so we're going to set that to 196 because that's going to be in key. So let's grab this. 196, and I'll just tune it by ear. Get that gain up. And this is, I'm just redoing an experiment that I did after posting on Reddit, like, why is my snare so loud? Or why is when my snare hits, it's causing so much gain reduction in the master, limiter, and compressor? Okay, so we're going to hit the tune down here until you hear the resonance. So that's one way to know that you're at that harmonic of the G. So we'll do the same thing on the bass drum, but you're going to want to turn this off when you're tuning the bass drum. And this is not a video about tuning, it's about what's really going on with the snare. So we'll set that to 49. Get that gain up. EQ'd tight. And then we're going to tune the bass drum. It's a little distorted. Now, if I were to put the cutoff, the low pass, you wouldn't get that. And so when I'm hitting the bass drum, you're getting that snare fundamental as well as the bass drum. That's close enough. All right, so here's just a snare. And turn off that low pass. So you can clearly hear the fundamental. So when you have a real snare drum, there's the heads on the top and the bottom. There's the snare, which is the wire on the bottom of the snare that makes that white noise. And I think it's called like the tube or something, or the bucket, the tube, which is like the space in the middle of the two heads, the space in the middle. And that's what you're hearing. That's what that is. So that's when I think of an EDM snare, I don't think about that. I think about that. So let's try a high pass. Like that's what I think of when I hear a snare. But we have that's the wrong one. We have that to deal with. That is interacting with the vocals harmonics. It's interacting with the synth harmonics. We might even it's a harmonic. It's like the third octave of the bass drum. So we're probably having the mid bass and the sub parts of a sub bass, depending on what you're using, like a saw wave, interacting with that. That's wild, isn't it? All right, so we're getting towards the end of the video. What does it sound like in music? Like, what can we do with this information? You know? You can figure out what you're really playing and what's really happening here. Yeah. All right. All right, we're gonna obviously get that preset that I made. Get a little master. So you might want to what I do, turn it up, but then do -6. Go into the master, audio effects rack, go all the way down to the M, master, Aggressive dance is what I usually use. All right, so what is music really? And then, so obviously, you're gonna. This is like bonus material. I just wanted to show you what that fundamental is really doing in your music. We're gonna throw on the bass control. Bass control. It's a preset that I made. This is what it looks like. And the whole reason I did this specific curve is so that it doesn't rattle my earbuds when I listen to my earbuds, because that's the final test, is the earbuds. And then you search for Dance Master. That EQ is wild. That's a preset that Ableton made, Dance Master EQ. And then this is bonus material. We're gonna do that utility and saturator again, but turn this down -10. Then we turn it back up. And for good measure, limiter, true peak limiter. And then for my next trick, delete that EQ8, because it's just boosting the fundamental of the kick and the snare. There's no reason to do that. Do you want to hear me jam? Do you want to, obviously I know how to jam, right? Right? So we'll go to sounds, bass, 303 bass. Oh no. Alright. I put that on. Alright, here we go. And that's how dubstep is made. Anyway, that whole experiment, it's not really music, it's an experiment about what is a snare. Really, a snare is just that fundamental. It's like a tom. It's just a cylinder with a top and a bottom, with a wire on the bottom that's called the snare. So that makes the white noise. But really, we're just hitting another tom. That's, if you're in a drum kit, you got instead of 2 toms, you got 3 toms, but one has a wire on the bottom of it, and it's called the snare. So watch that fundamental frequency of your snare. You probably want it to be a harmonic of the root or the tonic of the scale you're in, stuff like that. Think about it, because if that fundamental is stacking with your sub bass or your 808 or your 303, sorry, it's a 303. But if it's stacking with that, you might get a lot of gain reduction on your master, compressor, and limiter. So what is a snare? That's what a snare is. Thank you. It's Travis O'Leary. Peace.